Hello, good morning, happy Monday. How you all doing today? As you might see, I am experimenting with some music again. It's been a while since we've had that. Audio crackling? Maybe. Okay, let's try unplugging the mic and see if that helps. Okay, how about that? Is that any better? Also, hello Albert. Hello Isitsu. How are you both doing today? Better? Okay. I should probably try to remember I had the mic unplugged and then I plugged it in last night in preparation for just the morning, right? I figured, okay, that's fine. The computer was off. I turned it on this morning. Shouldn't that work? I don't know. Weirdness. Anyways, I'm experimenting with a little bit of music. I signed up for the free month of Pretzel. So we're trying that out this month, to sort of see how it goes. I have it set pretty low in the background. So if you want to change the music station or anything else, just let me know and we can play around with it. It's over on my Windows system, so I can hear it through my speakers, but not necessarily, it's not like coming through on a Mac where I can show the interface off pretty easily. But I know a lot of streamers are using this. So, that being said, let's jump into it. Where are we in this project? Oh, you know what? Before we even get to new projects, Trunk released, I believe yesterday, a brand new release. So we should install that. All right, let me full screen you. So what was it? It was like cargo install trunk. Stacking, good morning. How are you doing today? I feel like we're getting close. Has Trunk always used Axum Server? I don't remember anymore. Looking for that Christmas vacation? Nice. I took that week off in November, and that was my Christmas vacation. Okay, so yes, it always used that. I couldn't remember if it used Axum or if it just used one of the other projects. But I wasn't really paying that close attention to it. Zero 18-1. What was it before? Was it 018? Or was it 017? Oh, 6 days ago. Okay, for some reason I thought it was just the other day. But okay, so yeah, okay, 017.5 with 18.1. All right, so okay, good to go. So that being said, let's do a trunk serve. Okay, no, everything still works. That's a good sign. And here we go. Okay, so let's go back to our plan. As user, I want to reply to a post. So you're not running, or at least this is not doing what it's supposed to do. We have 2 errors. Oh, same origin policy. Didn't we fix this? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm supposed to do more than start the database. I'm supposed to actually start the server. So I have this behind me. Started the database, and I also need to do a cargo run. That would be helpful. There we go. Now we're happy. All right, so what I want to do now, we have create post. I want to add that in here somewhere. Now I could do something like if we go into here, then we're comments. I think we should just add the reply right below that. Oh, the .1 was 4 hours ago. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I just saw the congratulations message late, or at least the other people that saw it was late too. Because I saw that yesterday during the day on the one of the discords, the Yew Discord, I believe. Okay, so where am I going? I am run a code. Let's go into our, so we have create post, all posts. No, I want one post. So in the page for one post, okay, so we have the post, we have a title level, we have all these posts. So let's do another title. This can also be 2, I suppose. This can be reply. What did we call this? This is a BB submit post, create post, post something. Sharper guy, hello. How are you doing today? Is this just for learning Yew, or do you tend to turn this into something that gets used? This is mostly just for showing off Yew and any potential changes to that. So not ever intending to be used. Learning project only. Okay, you forgot to post the video, but people keep asking about WebSockets. Dream of Code just did a video on WebSockets. There's a full Rust rewrite of Socket.io. Oh, and of Socket.io too, not just using, because like whenever I've done, even when I do JavaScript based web sites, I've not used Socket.io more than once. Like I used it once the first time I played with WebSockets because I was scared of WebSockets. And then the browsers all updated and they all added in WebSocket as a standard. And ever since then, I just use that. But to be fair, none of my professional projects for like businesses have ever needed WebSockets. They've never used that. Socket Oxide or something. Nice. Okay, so what did I call this? Certainly not BB. Create post. Yeah, create post. I also have a create post response. Oh no, those are APIs. That's not what I want. I want this. Create post like that. I think actually work there. Now the problem here that we're going to run into is that this create post, I believe, is going to create a top level post, but the this looks fine. So we're gonna have to refactor this a little bit. So for example, I don't need this reply here. I want to turn this into reply. So we don't need you, but we need to update create post to have like a, so this is where we start going back and forth with this. Maybe we can split this left and right, and then I'll full screen the code, and then we'll do a v-split. And then I want to go back to one post. Okay, so we have one post over here on the right, and then my post over there, which, yeah, I am pointing to left and right. Okay, so that felt like a little bit louder than the other musics. I wish they would balance that out a little bit better. Okay, so what? Your one post, your create post. Okay, so create post is where we're going to care about this. So under props, we just have this on create post. Now this is when we're attempting to create the post, or is this actually creating the post? No, I believe this is now emitting out that we want to create the post. Bomero, happy Monday. How are you doing today? Okay, so that's good. So pretty much all I need to do then is just have an optional title, and we can have a prop or else for this. So we can have pub title. You're going to be an attribute value. We can have a prop or else, which then in this case we're going to give it a create post, and then we'll use this property here in this title. Oh, that got rid of way more than I wanted to. Okay, just you. Props dot title. Cannot move out, of course. All right, so that doesn't change anything yet, but as soon as we come over here, we can now load up. Create post, title equals reply, and then you show reply. Okay, perfect. Oh, you give me an early congratulations on the fantasy win. Oh, I'm playing against you. Oh, and you already lost. Oh no. Yeah, I saw like a bunch of notifications come in. So for context, I'm in a fantasy football league, and by football we mean American football. You know, the one where you do a bunch of hitting against people. Guess that doesn't really lock it down, does it? Basically they carry it with their hands. They carry the balls with their hands. That's the one. That's the game. So anyways, they we're in a fantasy league together. So I've been stacking. You've been in first place, right? For a while. I haven't actually looked at it I haven't looked at anybody else too closely. I've just been looking at my own team and then auto clicking the optimize for me. And then I don't really do anything with it. And I've gotten into second place, which is awesome. Okay, so we got reply, we got this. Now, when I submit the post, I believe it's going to do this on create post out here. So we need to capture that, and then we'll need to send this out. So that means we need a callback function. Oh, you have the tiebreaker. Next week is the playoffs. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention. I have some friends that are like really into football, but I don't hang out with them very much, so I don't really get like any football news. Okay, let's see. I want, let's do this. Let on create reply. And this we'll do a callback. Now in this case, we'll get the reply, and we'll start with glue console log this. Oh, you don't know what you are. You're an attribute value. And then we'll add you into this here. Okay, so you're unhappy. First of all, I should probably call you. Second of all, I should probably import you. Okay. At this point in time, I should now... let's make this left and right. That'll be easier. Let's dock it to the right. And then you can see the messages when they come out here. So if we're in this one, Zilby likes response to 0. If I say, hi Zilby, and I submit the post, we get the hi Zilby there. Oh, and talking about hi Zilby, look who's here. All right, so Diablo, hello, how are you doing today? I know, Cato indeed. Okay, so obviously this doesn't do anything yet, so we need to update our API to now send this out. Since we're in the split format, let's just continue with that. So we'll head over to our API, and we want, now I have a create post, and I wonder if I want like a create reply, which I don't think we have a, oh, we do have a create post response. No, that's not right. We have a create post. So I want this to be a response inside of here. I could do that and have it be an option, and then that might actually work. So I could have something like create response. I need to remember how the API works now. Let's open up our Rapid API. We have create post under the body. Oh, it's parent ID. So we can have this as an optional ID. And then I think that's the only difference. So that's the only thing I really care about. So we're gonna have a parent ID, which is gonna be an option I32. Now you could actually be a U32 because it's just a number. Once it's serialized into a string, who cares? And it'll come out on the other side as an I32 in the Axum code, but that's fine. Okay, so we have you. We need to add you into this data. So in the create post, we need the parent ID is going to be an option of an U32. parent ID. You're happy there. Now that should send off and now create it as a child. So but however, in the meantime, you're unhappy because, oh, we now need to, it would be really nice. It'd be super nice if I could do options like this and then have defaults where I say like, hey, yeah, if you don't actively pass parent ID in, it's a none. That would be super nice. But there, I'll just pass it in. That's okay. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so now let's pass in. Okay, so in order to do this, I don't need to delete the entire callback, just that. I do need the wasm bindgen futures. Do I need wasm bindgen futures for this, or can I use? It's been a while since I've used the dispatch for this. I wonder if I can use the async part of that. Okay, so there's this reduce future that takes a state and an async move, and then I return a new state. There's a reduce future callback, which I don't need. There's a reduce mute future, and in that case we need to do the box pin trick, which I don't want to have to do. So we're going to do the reduce future side. So that takes a state, and then just like this is more similar to what you have to do with what is it called? This is more similar to what you have to do with what am I thinking of? Redux. We have to like clone the entire state every time we use a reducer and then return that entire thing. So unlike the other reducers here, where I just got a mutable reference to it, we have to do that here. But this will be fine. So we get our state in. We are going to need to move. Oh, it's an RC app state. Interesting. Okay. You're behind. Oh, this code. Okay. How do I? So something I haven't figured out in Helix. How do I close the left split? Is there like a split close? Because if I just close the buffer close, that closes that one. Okay. Oh, I'm now literally have the same buffer open left and right. Okay. Yeah, it's like a permanent split. I don't know how to properly open back up again. Or sorry, to close everything but one. All right, well, let's go back and refigure this out. All right, so we have a reduced future. We get our state. That's a RC app state. I want... Oh, interesting. So we get our state, and then we have to do this async move here. Okay, so I had it wrong. So do our async move here. And then we need to return this. Now, well, I guess we need to create a new state and return that. We're going to do an into on it to... Oh, so that it that will return a RC state, and into will wrap it automatically. Or I wonder if they auto implement that for us. I believe state implements clone, right? So I should be able to clone it. Or I might have to like clone it myself. So let's see. Let's start with let our new state. I guess we're going to return our state, right? So we'll just do a app state. What? You're not going to help me? Missing field post. Okay, fine. So I want posts. It's going to be state dot posts. El Robertolo, hello. How are you doing today? Quick Rust question. You want to implement a certain network protocol and need to implement the struct for the packet. Now the thing is, it requires me to be able to set a single bit or 2 bits individually, not just U8. Rust doesn't seem to have that. I'd hate to use functions and pass bit flags. Like ideally, I would have to allocate the struct and don't mutate it again. So you have to do like, well, a single bit, and is it like a number you're supposed to send, like a binary number, like, you know, a U8, but 1 bit is set for that? I want to say there is a way to do that. Like if it's hard coded and you know exactly what that is, I want to say that you can set. We've done it before, where it was something like B, something like that. But I don't remember what it is. Oh, unterminated byte constant. How am I supposed to end it? Like this, so this is close. Oh, is it actually a string like that? Is that what I do? Or is it quotes, like normal quotes? I don't remember anymore. So the obvious problem is that I don't really remember how to do this, but like it is possible for you to set something like this. So you can set that ahead of time. Ooh, okay. So U8 doesn't implement display. Isn't there like a way where I can say like display it as bits or something like that? Ooh, binary is not satisfied. So I could do question mark. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So this is binary, and then you can basically set that and then send the U8 across. So like you could set a new you can hard code the bits that you want, assign them to variables, and then use that in your struct or pass it into your struct when you're setting it. Would that work? Oh, and Bimero. Yeah, that's a good link too. That might help out. But this is definitely not in my, this is not in my wheelhouse of like what I deal with. So I am not going to be super great at, oh, that's how to do it. I'm not going to be super great at answering that. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to help you too much with this. Mostly because I've never done that kind of thing before, and so I don't really, any suggestions that I have are going to be questionable, if that makes sense. So sorry about that, but I hope that this at least helps a little bit. And good luck with it. Hopefully you're able to get it. Okay, so reduce feature. So we create the post, and then what do we want to do? I want to, we have this attribute value, so we want to now call in here. We want to call the API. We want to pass the reply in. So the reply is going to be moved in here. That's fine. So before the app state gets created, we want to do something like let's, I think it's going to be the ID, right? It's like the new ID. It's going to equal to, let's get our API. Create post. We're going to get the reply. And then it needs the parent ID. Now we have the parent ID in the properties, this one right here. So let's get the parent ID. We're going to move that into here, and then let's see if it's just a U32, so that should auto copy in all the way. So then this will be a some parent ID. We will await. We do have to handle this error, so let's match this. And I suppose we don't have to handle the error by returning this new thing, do we? Wait, is that true? Regardless of what happens, we have to return this app state, so yeah, we do. All right, so let's glue console error this, and we'll just say error applying to post. And I guess we're gonna do an early return. Ooh, we can't do an early return. Okay. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to do that, which means let's actually create the new post here. Now this is the state. Oh, what is the app state post? It's like a, so we have the app state post. Let's go take a look at it. Oh, it's store. That's what it is. I want the store post. I want this store post. Let's create a new one. So we have an ID, which we don't know what it is, do we? With the text. Oh, so we don't know it this time. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, I can do default. Okay, let's do default. So maybe instead of returning this, we're just going to mutate. We're going to say new post dot ID is now going to equal this created ID. And then new post dot, let's see. So text, likes, text is going to be equal to our reply. Now, I've already consumed this here, so I should clone you. Created ID. Wait, no, created ID is the wrong type of post, isn't it? Like, what is in here? We have created ID. Oh, I think we already have everything we need, don't we? Okay. Hold on. Do I want to do something like new post equals created post? Are you gonna let me do that? You cannot be dereferenced. Oh, okay, I was... And then if I into it, you... Expected value found... Oh, this should be created ID. Okay, so I convert you into the right thing and I replace the new post with the default post. Which is okay, but I don't really need this, do I? Now, what I pretty much really want to do is create this new app state up here. So we're going to do let mute like the new state. And then I want to add to the post. So we're just going to push into the posts. So say new state. Why don't you have access to it? New state.post. Create ID into for that. Otherwise, we just print out at the very end, we return the new state. Oh, I probably don't want to into at this point in time. That way I have just the app state and then this gets the into. All right, I haven't been looking at chat. Sorry about that. Aren't there other reduce feature methods to make this simpler? Maybe. The other reduce feature methods I found, I don't know, I guess like the one which has the mutable reference, we can try that. How is Rust with the React like callback heavy code? You imagine it's quite tough on the types? It can be. Yeah, you can create like a ton of types quite easily. And then if you try not to create a ton of types and you have a type, you have a centralized type with a ton of options. So like that ends up being your two choices essentially for organizing types, and neither way makes me super happy. All right. Oh, you need to be in a, oh, you need to be, what's my problem? Expected async block to be a feature that resolves to RC app state, but it resolves to nothing. I'm attempting to return this. Did I not save? I did. Oh, semicolon. Did I just quit it? I just quit it. I do that a lot. I tapped the Q when I was hitting W at the same time, which is not ideal. Okay, so you're happy. Let's try the other way. So once we have, let's get this working, then we'll try one of the other reduce methods to see if it's nicer. You thought reduce mute callback with would handle most of the callback and feature boilerplate. I thought that reduce mute callback is really for a callback that's going to be handed to HTML itself. But I guess like this is a callback, isn't it? So I probably could. Yeah. I forgot this is part of a callback, isn't it? So yeah, we should try that. What are you upset about? Oh, callback iString impl future. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do that because you're very unhappy here. This needs to be not a feature. So let's try that. Let's update you. So let's do reduce feature callback with create a callback to reduce state asynchronously with the fired event. So it takes in with state event. Oh, reduce mute. Okay. Oh, right. I forgot. Reduce mute future callback with. There he goes. Dispatch, reduce mute future callback with state event. Okay, then we're gonna have to do this box pin fun. I was hoping to avoid the box pin fun, but I guess we'll do that. Okay, so we do this. This takes, you lose that. We're gonna get the state and then the event, which is really the reply, which is an attribute value. We're gonna do not an async move because we have to do the box pin stuff. So okay, we create, so we create this here, and then we're gonna do a box pin async move, and then our stuff. So we'll do a box pin async move block here. You all go into the pool. Okay, some slight differences here. I don't need to create a new state. You need to be indented in. We're going to match the API host. So you're going to do the thing. Okay, so if that happens, we want to, instead of do new state post, we want to just do state post push that into it. Otherwise, log that out. Okay. I think that'll work. You're still upset though. Why? Expected a function iString, which would be an attribute value closure, found a callback implicit clone unsync string iString. Wait, that's wait, do I have a wrapping callback? Oh yeah. I do need to remove that callback. Okay. Now what are you upset about? Closure may outlive. Okay, so we need to move you in. All right, there we go. Okay. We had 2 callbacks in there, which is fun. Basically, we were having a callback that returned a callback, which is not necessarily what we wanted to do. All right, perfect. So yeah, this looks a little bit better. I like it. All right, so you're good. We should now be able to create a reply with this. So here's our replies. We can just say like, "Hi Zilby, submit the post." That didn't auto show up here. Oh, because I put it into a top level, didn't I? Oh, that's not what I wanted. But when I hit refresh, that works. So it actually created the proper response. That's great. We need to, when I'm pushing this in here for estates, I need to do something different. Let's go create a function for this. So I have add post. What I probably want to do is something like pub function add reply. We have the reply post. Now what I want to do is I want the parent, which is going to be a U32. So we need to find the parent. So I guess we'll just do our if let sum. This will be the parent post. I need to intermute this. Ooh, do I need to move when it's U32? I think that copy is in, right? So we should be fine. This is going to be a post itself. And I want to find where the post dot ID is equal to the parent ID. Okay, so that gives me, now I have access to the parent. I want to do parent dot, we'll do a response count plus equals to 1, parent dot responses, and we'll push the reply. And now we can add a reply here. We have, let's just change this to, this is the reply post. And then the parent ID is the parent ID. Oh yeah, then I need to into this. Okay, we're good to go there. Let's try this again. So, how's your net going? Boom. Auto in there right away. Now I could put it at the top by just prepending it or inserting it into position 0 instead of pushing it to the end. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. And then our responses are up too. So we see that right away. So there we go. We now have the ability to reply to a post. Let's go ahead and clean up any of these warnings we have. Effect. It doesn't like these parentheses. Nothing more here. Okay, remove all the unused imports. That's nice. Did you okay, I told it to remove the unused imports and it removed one of the used imports. Really? Okay, cool. Thank you, Rust Analyzer. That was really awesome of you. Yeah, so if I remove all the unused imports, let's see if it does it again. It did not. I think that time it was okay. All right, no more warnings, no more errors. Everything should be working, so I should still be able to reply to you. So, hi. That shows down there. This is 3. We don't have a way to go back right now. That's fine. We'll just go back to home with this. We now see Zilby with 3 posts. We can click into there. We can say hi with you. And that shows down here as hi. And then I can go into there. Okay, so everything is still working as expected. So that is, as a user, I want to reply to a post. Excellent. As a user, I want to update the text of a post. All right. I guess actually I should let's commit. Already works better than a real thing. Sure. Yeah. If you would like Zilby to have a blue check mark, we can add that in, but it will cost a subscription of like, I don't know, $200 a month. I don't know what I want to set that to. Zilby would be happy with that, like that number of toys per month that we buy. Okay, so we can now add in a new post. No, a reply to a post. I started writing that before I actually like knew what I was trying to say. It's the problem about morning time. Okay, so back to you. As a user, I want to update the post. I was going to say the post of a text, but that doesn't make sense. The text of a post. So let's jump in here and take a look at this. I'm thinking if we go into one of the posts here like this, I want to click on it. I want some like button maybe to like update that. We could have like maybe a little edit button somewhere in here, or up here or down here. I'm not sure where I would put that. Let's, I guess, try. Put this over to the right, you over to the left. Let's go find for one post. Let's do a little bit of experimentation here. Actually, you know what? Let's do a different way. This thing that a designer once taught me is that you can just do your design in code here. Now, when a designer tells you they're going to do something in code, they don't necessarily mean they're going to actually do it in the code base. Aspiring Millionaire, hello. How are you doing today? Just want to drop by and say we're awesome. Thank you for the content. You're learning so much. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad everything's helpful, and it's you're learning. Let's see. Okay, so we can let's select over here. I don't need you. And okay, so here's one of these. So if I want to figure out where we're going to put an edit button, we can actually just fully edit as HTML, and it just shows this entire thing. So I can just choose like, okay, we have this div class, like we have this P for Zilby, we have another P for likes and P for responses. Like what if I put at the end of it like a button and then we just have like edit. How would that work? So if I save that, I mean, that doesn't look too bad. I can also select this and then style it down here. So I can say, okay, well, what if you are, can I make this justify like self? Ooh, I can't justify self this. Is it justify content? Wait, are you? What are you? Oh, this is not flex. That's why. So if I turn this top level into a flex. So what is this? This is ZTX. ZTX. Okay, this one here. So I want border color, and we're going to do, oh, wait, they're ZTX GSILE. Okay, so I can update these and it will update everywhere else, I believe. Yeah. Coffee drinker, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, we're gonna flex. So we're gonna do a display flex. That puts everything in one line. It's gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be fine. I want a flex direction column. I mean, that doesn't look horrible, but it does make it look like the edit is like the most important thing there, which is not necessarily what I wanted to show off. And then here we're going to do justify. Maybe I can do justify self now. No, that doesn't like that. I can do now. Align is centered, right? There's justify, align. There's I need to remember the different things for this. So the parent is flex, which means that now as the child, I can align myself to however I want. So I think that was justify. Oh, you're still using floats to do? Yeah, don't use floats because there's a lot of like bad tricks that you have to do to get it to work. And flex is like just so powerful. I thought it was self, but I guess not. Because like none of these do anything to it. Justify content is usually for the things underneath it. And that's not going to work. Unless I also have to give this a side. Move aside, flex, grids all the way. I do need to learn grids. I stopped doing a lot of front end once I got on a team that has a designer that did a lot of that stuff, and he just did all the grid stuff for me, and so I never really learned. Just like that's one of the dangers, right, of working on teams is that other people do all the stuff that you don't know, and then therefore you don't learn it. So I do need to learn that. Floats have been in your fingers for the last 15 years since you first started. Table is the way. That reminds me of how I started. It was tables and floats. That was everything. All right. What is? Oh, do I have to give like? You're already got a size, right? Like I don't need to tell you that your size is a certain thing. Oh, do I need to tell the button its size is a certain thing? Do I need to say something like your width? I don't know if it's auto. And then your justify self. No, because look, it's still 100% width. So width of like, let's say 4 rem. That's great, but that doesn't move over to the right. Your first website was 3 shades of orange brown in a table. My first website was white. It was a form with like 100 different inputs and like then a table down below for No, it didn't have any inputs. It was just a table with like hundreds of items that I hand coded in because I didn't really understand APIs or anything else. Like I was taking a course and it was like just showing this off. So I created a table and hand coded everything. Yeah, when everything was like the 9 by whatever it was, what is it called? Like it was 9, it's like 9 by something design. That was the pattern we all did. Okay. So I set your width. It's not justify self. It's not flex direction, right? Because flex direction, I can't. That was for if it was flex. I forget it. I'm gonna have to look it up. Unless any of you remember what it is. Let's see. CSS, flex, like right. I don't know if it's justify is right. I mean, so that makes it so justify content is the left and right. Align items is the up and down. I want one item to the right. Now, of course, grid would work here. I don't necessarily... You might think that this should be use case for justify self property. However, consider the image below. Okay, so it wants me to wrap these, doesn't it? Oh, push. Okay. Oh, he just wants me to use a margin left auto. That's so boring. I mean, okay, fine. Oh, you had to deal with IE6. I'm so sorry about that. I have been so lucky that I've been able to work with companies that have clients which modern browsers are an absolute hard requirement. I think right now my LMS has the most of all the things I've ever worked on. The LMS that I have right now requires more thought into like, does it work on other browsers than everything else. And so far I've gotten one person who said it didn't work on their mobile browser, but everybody else who even had the same browser and the same device, it's worked on theirs. So like, I don't know what's going on there, but I think it's like, it's not great on mobile. It works a lot better. It does work on all the major browsers. That's good. But yeah, having like consider like IE6 and other stuff, that's a pain. Okay, so do I need this flex? I do. Okay, so I need display flex and flex direction, and then I can do margin left auto. So this is in a post. So in the one post component, okay, so we have the style. So we need to figure out what's on what thing. So we have this div is our style. So we want, this is gonna be our display flex. And then here we're gonna do our flex direction column, and then we need an edit button, And this button is going to have its own style. Okay, so this one is just going to be margin left auto. Auto. Not super great CSS sort of arrangements here. There's a lot better ways to sort of organize CSS. Okay, there we go. Now our edit button is over on the right. I can hit refresh and it is all over here. So that's good. Now, obviously when I click on this, nothing happens. So I need this to emit out. I need to catch when we're in edit mode or if we're not in edit mode. So I guess a couple things here. So we'll start with a callback. So I am going to want to do this as let's see, this is going to be a let edit button on click. Right now we'll just have our callback from here, but we're going to need to move something in, which will be fun. We'll take in this event, which we don't really care about this right now. But this is going to be a click event, I think, or it might be a mouse event. Let's do a glue console. So edit button clicked. That's all we'll do here, and then we'll add this on to an on click here. Edit button on click. So I should be able to see in the console. Okay, I clicked the edit button. Now I want to switch this into maybe like maybe one of these, like a whatever text area. I want to switch this into a text area when we click edit. And then I want this to become like a close or maybe save or something like that. So we need to internal state to know if we're editing or not. Let's create a state for that. So let our is editing or editing state, maybe. Editing state. Now, I could have this be a Boolean, so we can just have this be start with a false. Start with a false. And that's good for right now. Let's bring this over into here. Okay, so that we're editing state. Oh, it's a mouse event. Okay. Not a click event. And then I want to flip this over. So I want to have it become the opposite of it. So we'll do editing state. We'll set it to be destructured, the opposite of destructured editing state. I don't need to log you out anymore. And then this button, so we want to dynamically set what the value is of this based upon here. So we have you, we're going to do, there's no ternaries in Rust, so we have to do this as like as close to a ternary style as possible. So if edit button, okay, so if our editing state, if this is true, then I want to return like save. Otherwise, I want to return edit. Okay, so now this switches back and forth between edit and save. Albert, welcome back. So that's always fun. Let's see. Then, oh, you were biking to the train? Hopefully it was a good bike ride. It's getting too cold and potentially icy here. Like if there's just any amount of liquid overnight, the roads are slicked over and it's like, to me, it feels dangerous. I still know people who ride in those conditions. And then when I ask them like, oh, well, how do you avoid a fall? They just sort of look at me like, well, every once in a while you just fall and it's fine. Or like it takes me like, you know, an extra little quarter block to stop because I just slide. Like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna do that. All right, so we have you. The vocal announcement of the train was not the same as the written one. They were the opposite directions. That doesn't sound good. All right, so then I need this text to now be a text area. Do we have a text area? Yeah, so I have this text area component. So again, here, we're gonna have an if statement. So this is gonna be a little bit more complicated. We're gonna say if our editing state, so if we're true, then we want to return, a text area. So let's like right now, we'll do a HTML. This is the part that sucks in React too, is like you get these really complex HTML things, like to the point where it might make sense for us to create this, like break this out into a function call, because that could work too. Oh, there's also animals on the tracks? Oh no. That has not happened to me in a long time. When usually the trains, if they're delayed, they're just delayed weird, or they skip, or something weird happens. Or more likely, there was a fight on the train, and then they had to, like, you know, call the police or do something, handle that. Okay, so if we are editing the state, we want to return that text area. So we want the text area. Let's see how this feels. It's probably going to yell at me. And then we're going to have an else. We're going to return this p tag there. Okay, you're upset. Can I find in scope? Okay, so import you. You're still upset because, oh, it needs a value. So it needs a value. So we're going to say value equals, and in this case, we want the props post text clone. Okay, so that's the bare minimum that will work. Let's see how this is. So if I hit the edit, bam, edit. It's not too cold yet, but it's just short on a 20-minute walk to around 10 minutes of biking. Oh, that is nice. Okay, so we now have our text area. I could change this up. Now when I hit save, nothing happens. It just closes it. And it resets it. So like all of our changes were lost. So obviously we need to like add this functionality in. What happens if you reply while editing? Good question. What happens if we reply while editing? So if I'm doing this, and I say like, hello. I don't have a hello, right? Yeah. It resets this because it does refresh and reload the data. So yeah, we lose that. Like okay, in a proper app, you'd want to like catch these conditions, which I wouldn't even call edge conditions. These are just conditions, or they're cases. Your QA, which should be the developers themselves in this specific case, should say, hey, that's a terrible idea. Let's like code to prevent that from happening. However, I am not going to do that because I don't really care about making this like good. We're really showing off just in general how you works, and like hopefully you can basically take the idea of this and like figure out, oh, okay, I can use some if statements and then load up different components. I can like basically close off the reply if this one is showing. Like, heck, you know what? We can just do that easily. We could just make the reply not show up. Where is that? This is, oh, actually this is the one post. So the reply is not out there. We'd have to move it out. You did some iOS application testing for a while, and I'm sure the developers are very happy with the endless stream of issues you were filing. The thing is that if the climate change doesn't bargain. Hello, studded tires for the win. I don't have studded bike tires, so that also doesn't help. In a good environment, your developers work really close with QA. And therefore you get like the developers are happy when they find issues because like everybody is working really closely together. If you have the entire like brick wall between QA and developers, that becomes a problem because now like the developers toss it over the wall and start working on something else. And then QA finds all the problems, tosses that back over the wall. Even if over the wall means you walk over to their desk or you do a Zoom call or something and you say, hey, this is screwed up. The developers are like, but I'm working on something else now. That's a problem. That's to me, that is a management and culture problem. That needs to be addressed at the management and culture level and not like the individual developers level. And it's a fairly easy thing to fix. You change the definition of done. And then you integrate the teams. So QA works, you have QA work really closely and you don't move it into done until QA passes it. So therefore you need a little bit of pairing. And it's fine. I think the official stance is la la la. I'm not listening. Yeah, that when you see that happening with developers, like versus QA, then there's a huge problem that's happening, and like management is just letting it happen because they think that that's how it's supposed to be, and that is the mark of a management that doesn't know how it could be better. How I would fix that, especially since we're at 8:27, I'm not gonna like add more to this. We're gonna do this part tomorrow morning. But how I would fix the situation where we have that, change the definition of done, and change the board where the developer is not allowed to move the ticket. So either like the ticket cannot move into done until it's past QA, and the developer is not allowed to have two tickets at once, and when it's in QA, the developer still owns the ticket. It becomes a dual owned ticket where the developer owns it and the QA owns it together. And so therefore they come together, they fix things. Oh, I need to fix it. Developer just fix it right then. Okay, let's test it again. Okay, developer just fixes it right then. And then working on that. That's how I would do it. That's actually how I've done it in the past, and it works out really well. There's a lot of grumbling at the beginning of like, what do you mean I've got to, I'm not being efficient with my time. And it's like, okay, we need to talk about flow and all that stuff. Is there any plan creating, also Darub, hello, how are you doing today? Is there any plan creating an app with Axum and Shuttle in the future? Yes. What I have, when Axum settles down to 1.0, we're going to do our course, and I do plan on looking into Shuttle to see whether or not I want to include that as a module for the deployment options. Hopefully it's still good at that time. I've heard some things that were like questioning their pricing plan, but as long as they still have a free tier, then I think we're okay. Do you subscribe to the notion that every task should be no more than one story point in scope and should take no longer than a day to complete? If you do that, there's no point to story points. Like the and I think that a lot of teams don't really understand why they're pointing things. And so they're just like, they come up with interesting, weird ways of like, okay, we're going to like, this is a story point is like a day per day. But if you tie a point, like the points to time, like directly to time, it becomes, it's bad things start not working correctly. Why does you hot reloading not work in Windows? Oh, it's always worked for me, but I've only tried it in Windows a couple times. So I don't know. It should be working, but I'm not sure how to debug that. So maybe ask on the Yew Discord, because they might have better information for you. So yeah, I would basically suggest that you point based upon complexity if you do pointing at all. What happens when QA is slow? This gets into something called theory of constraints, which is like an entire big studying thing. It's like a big part of lean. If QA is slow, it means that they are the what is it called? The funnel. They're the blocker. I forgot the right word for it. They're where everything is slowing down. So in that case, and also thank you, Bimero. I see bottleneck. I thank you for that coffee. I see the time. Thank you for that, Bimero. So I'll answer this one and then we'll be done. If QA is slow, QA is the bottleneck. If you make things faster before the bottleneck, you make it worse. You make the problem worse, because all you're doing is adding, like if developers are just more efficient than QA, then developers add more tickets into QA, which means that just more work piles up, and then work slows down even more, because the more inventory there was just sitting there, the slower things happen. So not great. So instead, developers can go over and help QA speed things up, and then everything flows through the system faster in the end. And then what you can do is you can figure out, okay, what if instead of developers to QA, what if QA to developers? And then things can flow a little bit faster too. So there's a lot of little experiments you can do to try to fix it, but like you fix the bottleneck first, and then everything else needs to wait and like not be worked on or improved. Now we can have the TDD argument. Yay! Yeah, absolutely, we can. All right, so let me go ahead and we did a little bit of updates in this. Let's go ahead and push this up. So this is preparing to edit posts. That is all pushed up. If you want to take a look at this code yourself, here it is. There's a link to the code, so you can go ahead and take a look at it. We did, the only sort of technology we updated recently was trunk, and I should probably, I don't even have trunk installed here in a tech use. I should probably add that. Okay, that'll be something should probably do. But I need to head off to my day job. So let's see. All this week I have planned streams in the morning, so around 7 a.m. Mountain Time. We'll be working on this project until it's done, and then I have a fun next project sort of lined up for that. So I'll know more about like what's going on the closer we get to it, but we're pretty close. So I don't know if that's going to start this week or, you know, next week. Hopefully by the end of this week. And then the afternoon, we're doing something fun. We ran into a sort of a block diminishing returns area with the coding game, and they suggested that we learn some more advanced AI tactics type stuff. So I'm taking that as a excuse to learn evolutionary programming, and we're learning that the tutorial that we found is in Python, and so I'm doing the examples there, and then we're also then just doing that in Rust too. So that's at 2:30 p.m. is we're doing evolutionary programming explorations, which is a lot of fun. So with that all being said and done, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.